This episode is for all the baby readers. But before we get into it, wherever you're listening from, welcome to Paper and Soul.
Paper and soul, paper and soul. Every story makes us whole. Paper and soul, where our stories unfold.
Welcome back to Paper and Soul. I'm Aishiba, a lover of culture, books, stories, and everything that makes everyday life what it is. I want to thank you all so much for watching the first episode of Paper and Soul. I am really grateful for all of you who commented, liked, subscribed, and I'm happy to know that there are people out there who love books just as much as I am and who will take the time to sit and listen to me rant about them. I do consider myself to be somewhat of a baby reader, and so my list of books aren't as extensive as others. Regardless of that, there are a few books that I've read that have changed my outlook on life and that I would say have quietly changed me. I think sometimes we feel like we need to earn the title of reader. We think we have to earn the title of writer when we would have had published our third best-selling book, or the title of an artist when we have sold out a big stadium. And it's the same for me. I thought I would have had to earn the title of reader when there's a minimum number of books that I read to make my relationship with books count. I've been a victim of this mentality because I have been internalizing the book content that I've been seeing. That's a story for another day, but it's something I'm working on. I'm definitely trying to just go at my own pace and do my own thing, read the books that I want to read. Yeah, and just take it in strides. With that said, I will say that there are some books that I've read that have impacted me in very small but big ways. We're gonna talk about them today. Ever since I've rekindled my love for reading, I've learned that books often find us when we need them. I stand by that 100% because there will be books on my TBR and I will not touch them until years later. And when I do read them, it is the perfect time to read them because the lessons that I do take from the books are what I need in this season of my life. That in itself is also funny for me too because again, you'll take lessons from these books and you think that you've learned them, but again, it's not until a particular time in your life when you are now open to it, to accepting it, and to, use the lessons to help better your life and so on, does it work out and make sense. You understand me? I've read books in high school that when I look back on what I read, I was like a teenager. I didn't understand anything that I was reading. I didn't understand the lessons that came out of it. But now, being in my 20s and navigating life on my own, I have to sit back and be like, oh, wow. So that's what you were trying to tell me. Enough of the chit chat though. Let's get into the two books that I'm going to talk about today that have impacted me on different levels and for different reasons at that. The first book that I'll be talking about today is Welcome to the Hyunam-dong Bookshop by Hwang Boreum. Now, this book is my first ever translated Asian literature and I enjoyed it so much. I think I will say that this is my favorite book of all time for now. And remember, my list is very short, but for now, that is at the top of my list. I talked about this very briefly in the previous episode that this is I think my first slice of life kind of read, and I did not know that there were books that would make me feel the way I felt when I read it. The author does a wonderful job at making small everyday moments seem so beautiful, and I really enjoyed that. And I want to share the things that I liked about this book and also my favorite lines from the book, and I hope that you will enjoy it as much as I enjoyed it. I will tell you a little bit about what the book is about so that you'll just understand and get why I like it so much, okay? Now, Youngju is burnt out. She did everything she was supposed to do: go to school, marry a decent man, get a respectable job. Then it all fell apart. In a leap of faith, Youngju abandons her old life, quits her high flying career, and follows her dream. She opens a bookshop. In a quaint neighborhood in Seoul, surrounded by books, Hyungju and her customers take refuge, from the lonely barista to the unhappily married coffee roaster and the writer who sees something special in Hyungju. They all have disappointments in their past. The Hyunam-dong bookshop becomes the place where they all learn how to truly live. It's a heartwarming story about finding acceptance in your life and the healing power of books. Welcome to the Hyunam-dong Bookshop is a gentle reminder that it's never too late to scrap the plot and start again. Now, sometimes I think about disappearing from my life and just setting up shop somewhere new. It was felt, okay, when Youngju girl was all stressed out and just tired and mentally done with life. I felt that and I understood where she was coming from. Though I didn't get to the marrying part like Young too, I followed life how I guess I thought it was supposed to go, or how I've always been told it's supposed to go. So I did my CSEC, I did my CAPE. In high school I passed all my subjects. I went on to university and I got my degree, first class honors, integrated marketing communication. And well, I got a job. I was so confused because I was like, okay, is this it? What next? All of that and for what? That's how I felt. I felt so overwhelmed and I felt burnt out, especially because of the field that I was working in. So I could relate to this character a little. After leaving her husband and moving to a new environment, she opened her own bookstore. And through this, we were introduced to other characters in the book whose life we got a little inside scoop into. And at the end of the day, we were able to see how the bookshop that Hyungju opened became this safe haven, not only for herself, but for everyone who stepped through the doors. I love this book for a lot of reasons, including the charming nature of the stories that are so relatable and the deep prose. I really adored the writing itself. The writing did something for me. But the number one thing that I really enjoyed about this book, as someone who seeks community everywhere that I go, the bookshop being this safe space and safe haven for people to just be and connect felt really special for me, and I really enjoyed just that aspect of the book. I learned a whole lot from it as well, including how to slow down and live a life that is meaningful to nobody else but me. And that is something that I'm currently learning in this season of my life. In every book that I read these days, this is the lesson that I'm getting from it. And I have been trying to incorporate that into my everyday life. I want to share a few words with you that stayed with me even after turning the last page. To adopt a mature attitude towards life is to know how to live in the moment. Find your own walk, your own way of striving, pacing, direction, anything you want. This is my favorite one, and I've said it so many times. Because it's our first life, worries are aplenty and anxiety too. Because it's our first life, it's precious. Because it's our first life, we don't know what will happen even in 5 minutes. A life surrounded by good people is a successful life. It might not be success as defined by society, but thanks to the people around you, each day is a successful day. 10 out of 10 with the words I tell ya. Chef's kiss. The next book on my list has got to be Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. I think I have it right here to show you what it looks like. Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. I would have showed you Welcome to Hyunam-dong Bookshop, but I sent it to my mom in Jamaica, so she has that copy. This book it down, okay? It down, I tell you. If any book ever made me feel all the feels and make me want a man, full stop, want a man, it's this one. Can't get enough. Now, Hendrix Barry lives a fabulous life. She has phenomenal friends, a loving family, and a thriving business that places her in the entertainment industry. Your vision board? She's probably living it. She's a woman with goals, dreams, ambitions, always striving upward. And in the midst of everything, she's facing her toughest challenge yet, caring for an aging parent. Who has time for romance? Tech mogul Maverick Bell is a dilemma wrapped in an exquisitely tailored suit and knee melting charm. From their first charged glance at the summer's hottest party, Hendrix feels like she's met her match. Only he can't be. Forbidden fruit is the juiciest, and this man is off limits. More than anything else, this book made me think about the different qualities that I would like in a partner. Uh, I laugh because a lot of people hate on romance books because they believe it is so unrealistic for women to be loved the way it's portrayed through the stories like this. And that has me going down a whole other rabbit hole. But in the season of the life that I am in, I do believe that there are people out there just like Maverick. I believe it. And to my future husband, I know you're there. Yeah, men like Maverick who goes after who he wants in hopes of getting the woman of his dreams, simply put. And not in a creepy stalker way, by the way. It's just being intentional and openly expressing himself. There are themes of a sort of complex caregiving as Hendrix's mom is suffering from Alzheimer's, and in that balancing ambition with family duty, love, and a big one in this series of books by Kennedy Ryan, which is overcoming challenges through community. Some of my favorite quotes from this book are from Maverick because I absolutely adore the way he talks about Hendrix and vice versa. I've never been more fascinated by any woman than I am by Hendrix. The juxtaposition of power and vulnerability, of brazenness and restraint, it's got me wide open. I think of A Different World reruns when she smiles. If a man ever said that to me, if a man ever said that to me, jeez. She moves between wildly different spaces, never pretending to be anyone but herself. Her level of authenticity is rare and compelling. She's at home in her own skin as anyone I've ever met. And this is now like Hendrix talking about him. Whatever it is about him that shifts the gravitational center of every room he enters, I don't think it's merely physical. I think it's as elemental as fire or water or air. Even with his kind of wealth, you can't buy that. It predates currency and outweighs power. It's him. There are parts of you that want to be held, want to be needed and loved. That is just as emotionally valid as the parts of you that crave independence. But deep down, past my intellect, past my gut instincts, to where knowledge is primordial, that's where I know Hendrix is supposed to be in my life. Wow. I want my love to be the most extravagant gift I ever give you. I want it to be outrageously unconditional. I want it to overflow and spill into every crevice of your life, every corner of your heart, because that's what you do for me. You overwhelm me, Hendrix. Do you understand why I love this book? It doesn't even touch the surface of why I like it. Okay, and so these are two books that have impacted me deeply. Of course, as I said, in two different ways, in two very different ways. But yeah, I want to thank you so much for listening today, for being here, and for sharing this space with me. I really appreciate you. Lots of kisses and hugs. Until we meet again, may the books you read nourish you, may the stories around you inspire you, and may your heart stay open to new possibilities.
Paper and soul, paper and soul.